So I've now got my hole drilled, cable through, and it's time to just finish up this project, guys. Okay, so I've got a day off from work, and like most people, you would think that I'll be relaxing, enjoying the nice sunny morning on this cold autumnal day. But of course, I've got to find a DIY project to get stuck into. I mean, obviously. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a little DIY project which I'm hoping will come out right. This is kind of a thinking outside the box type of project which I was thinking about for a few weeks since renovating our bedroom. One of the things that I really wanted to do is to raise the height of my bedside table. Now, we got these little bedside tables, and I put a link to the video above, which were cheap and cheerful from Amazon. I think the company is called UGAD, and they make really narrow bedside tables which we needed for the space which is just beside our bed. Now, the tables have got these little cubby holes which are really handy for storing stuff sideways, but because of the height of our bed, guys, they're a little bit low, and so it would be really nice if we could bring the bedside tables up a little bit higher so that it'd be easily accessible, so I could put my charger, my extension cables, or whatever else I need to put in that slot, just so that it could be more user friendly really. Now, I bought this extension charger from Amazon again. I'll put the link in the description down below, and so far so good. It's got some USB ports which I can plug my charger straight into, which is really handy. I'm trying to be as minimalist as possible to get rid of all of the huge chunky plugs, and so I thought some USB cables would be really nice to plug straight into the extension. One of the things that I'd love to do also is to create a hole for our extension lead to run down the back of this bedside table to make it more integrated rather than just to leave it hanging like this. Obviously this isn't going to be very neat and very tidy, and so if we could have it tucked away down the back. So I will be drilling a hole in order to run the extension cable through, tucking it out of the way nicely before attaching the extension to the unit itself. I've got these pieces of scrap aluminium brackets which I'll be using as legs for the table in order to raise it up by by a few inches. So I'm hoping I'll be able to attach these to the base. Hopefully, like I said, it'll be a pretty straightforward project. So this is what we're working with at the moment. It's a nice little table, cheap and cheerful. We've got a little drawer at the bottom which is nice, but like I mentioned, it's around the same height as our bed, which is okay, except for the fact of when you want to try and reach into this little cubby hole here where we've got my charger, got some USB ports there, and yeah, it's just not the greatest position really, as it's a bit lower than the bed. So the idea is to try and get this raised up a bit so it'll be easily accessible. So potentially I could store like my laptop in there, and it's a real shame that my laptop is just a little bit wider than this section, so it doesn't sit flat, but it will be nice to be able to just slide it in from this angle straight in. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So the hope is to use these as our feet for the bedside table. Now the idea is to just drill a couple holes in here. It's aluminium, so it's pretty soft as far as metals go, and literally I'm going to be attaching them underneath, and this will be the part that goes onto the floor. So 2 screws in the top here, fix it to the underside of the table, not this table, and the bedside table, and then hopefully that will be that. Okay, so this is the idea that I've got, guys. So basically use these brackets and actually attach them to the bottom of the unit. Now unfortunately this hasn't got a flat surface at the bottom, so what I'm going to try and do first of all is to just line these up. Now there's around 10 mil of surface space. Whether or not that will be enough to hold these, time will tell, but it's only going to be a small bedside table. It's not going to be carrying too much load, so this should be okay. Using a small metal bit to just punch the hole through the aluminium. I hope that it won't be too tricky. Okay, so I've just finished actually attaching the feet onto the unit, and they are standing pretty strong, which is really good. So I'm going to flip it upside down to see how it looks. I'm not sure if they're going to be too long, but time will tell, as they'll definitely be higher than how it was before. Oh yes, that is definitely a lot higher than how it was before, guys. Now I can already see that it's taller than the bed, so hopefully while I'm sitting in bed or lying in bed, I'll be able to just access this side cubby hole, which was one of the main reasons for me actually raising the height of it. So yeah, so far so good. Let me give you guys a close-up of what it looks like. It doesn't look too bad at all from the top down. Looking really good actually, all things considered. I've tried to make it as flush as possible, and like I said, it's looking pretty good, guys. Really nice actually. Almost looks as if it could have come built for it. And this has costed me nothing, because these pieces of scrap aluminium I got from work, which normally gets thrown away and recycled anyway. So you know, why not reuse what you've got? Here on our channel, we're always big advocates for reusing stuff, guys, rather than just throwing it away. Okay, so now that the legs are attached, the next thing to do is to basically get my measurement. Now I've made a mark of where I want my hole to be. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on its side, lay it down flat, and if I am able to drill from this side out, then that's brilliant. Okay, so having the right tools for the job is always the best option, guys. So I've got my wooden drill bit here, which I'm going to be using to punch the first hole into the back of the unit. However, we're going to need a much bigger one in order to make a hole big enough. Fingers crossed I will be able to make a hole big enough for the cord to go through, but first things first, you use a smaller one to punch the initial hole before ramping up with the bigger drill bits. Now the largest drill bit I've got at the moment is an 8mm one. Whether or not it'll be big enough, time will tell. But at this point I'm super committed to this project, so there's no turning back, guys. I'm going to be drilling it one way or another. Okay, let's see if I'll be able to get this through. Now it's very hard to actually drill on this surface, guys, because it's so slippery because of the coating. But I'll do my best. And we're through. Yeah, that was a lot easier than I thought. Next, I'll have to drill through with the larger drill bit. I'm just going to go straight for the larger one, see how we get on, which is the 8mm. I doubt I'll be able to fit this in as this drill bit's so long, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it over to the other side first and then drill from the back. Okay guys, so unfortunately I haven't got my tools with me. I've left them at work and I'm off for a couple of days because Naomi hasn't been well, so I've been on daddy duty. But this is pretty straightforward in terms of switching a plug. Now I haven't got any spare plugs with me, however there is a temporary workaround where you can actually cut this cable, and once you've cut it, literally thread it through the hole. Hopefully the hole will be big enough, and once it's gone through, you then reattach the cables together. So that means I'll have to strip these back, connect the earth, the live and the neutral, and as long as it's protected and well insulated, then it will carry on working until I get a replacement plug. So I haven't got all of my proper tools with me, so I'll pretty much just be using my old second-hand snippers to just cut this through, and that's it. We've severed the main plug. Now I'm going to try and see if this will actually fit through the hole on the unit, and in this plug all there is just 3 wires that will be able to focus very well to see. We've got an earth, a live and a neutral, and we've got a brown, a blue and a yellow and green. which is pretty typical. So all I'll do is strip this back in order to reconnect it to the other section which we've cut off. But first, let's see if it will fit through the hole. Okay, here's my hole that I've created, guys. It's not the best finish. Hopefully this will fit through, he says. Oh, look at that. That's actually perfect. So this cable is around 8mm in terms of width. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, guys, but it's gone through nice and easy. My unit on here, I don't want to bend this cable. I want it to have a nice rounded finish. Don't want to put any tension or pressure on the copper cable wiring that's running on the inside. I'm going to try and attach this to the side. I'm not sure what's the best way, if I should try and drill some screws and attach it that way, or potentially using some sticky back tape or some Velcro. I think I might have some lying around somewhere, but that's what we're hoping for. And on the back, the idea is to have this bad boy running along the line. Just have it running straight down the bottom like this, guys, and just get some fixings to just attach it to it all the way down and into the wall. Much better than having it sort of just hanging out at the end, I think. And so that's the plan for the next step. So in order to temporarily connect these back together, I'm going to use these connector blocks which are called Wagos, and all it is, you simply lift these little sections up, these little clips, pop your wire in, and then close it down, and you do the same with the other side to just match them up. So we'll have 3 of them, one for the earth, one for the neutral, and one for the live. Now these are the only sizes I've got at the moment. Normally you would need just some double ones like this, and they basically replace those traditional old style connector blocks that you normally have to have the screw to tighten on. More ergonomically advanced and easy to lock and to unlock. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to strip these cables back. I'm going to give myself enough, just going to score it. I don't want to cut too deep down because you don't want to damage the cables underneath. Then once you scored it, then you just move it back and forth like this until it breaks the seal, and you get the gist. Then we'll just pull it off. So we got brown, which is live, blue, which is neutral, and yellow and green, which is the earth. The warmer colors are always the live, cooler color is normally the neutral, and of course earth is always standard. I'm going to do the same for the plug side, guys, so we can connect them in these blocks. So you should end up with something like this. Simply just open up your clips, or if you got the traditional ones, you can just push them in all the way in until you can't go any further, and then you just close it, and it's held it securely. It's insulated, so if anyone touches this, you know, no one will be electrocuted. Give it a tug test. Yep, it's definitely in there, and you do the same for each block, and that's it. So we've got one for each wire, and like I said, these are on pretty strong. Now this is only temporary, just to have a proof of concept to finish this project, but in the next couple of days I'll get this switched over with an actual plug rather than using this old plug, which is one of these fused ones that you can't actually get inside to change the wires out. So I'll now do the same on the other side and then connect them. Okay guys, so this is what I've ended up with. Earth to earth, neutral to neutral, and live to live, and that just basically connects the circuit. So when I plug this back into the wall, we'll be able to use that extension as normal. However, I can't stress this enough, I'm not going to leave this like this. This is just temporary to show proof of concept that it does work. So I've now got my hole drilled, cable through, and it's time to just finish up this project, guys. So I'm going to be sticking 4 of these to the plug and then attaching it to the upright of the underside of the unit. Okay, so I've done 3 already. This side is a bit you peel off to stick onto the item, and this side says for the wall. So simply just peel this back, and I'm just trying to line these up as best as I can. Okay, so now for the fun part of aligning this all together. Okay, so I haven't made the front of the unit flush. I wanted to have a little recess so that the cables won't just be sticking out at the front. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like from the front. Look at that. It's like it's always been like that, right? And honestly, I mean, this is the perfect surface to stick these things to. It is on there like rock solid. So I'll definitely be able to plug you know, maybe my laptop charger or any other plugs that I need to plug in. So as they say, guys, the proof is in the pudding. I'm going to actually give this unit a go. I've plugged it into the mains, then I'm going to be plugging it into my phone to see whether or not it charges. So let's go. Oh yeah, we're in business, guys. There you go, proof that it is actually charging. It's currently at 86%, and I am super excited about this. Okay, one happy boy here. It's been a good couple of hours this afternoon working on this project. I'm nearly there at the end. The last thing that I need to do really is to run this cable down the back of the unit. I think I might have some of those little clips that you can actually attach to the back of the unit, and then once that's done, then our project will be all over. Literally just gonna wait for these legs to dry properly. I was a bit impatient and started moving them so they got a bit scratched, which is understandable, but no one will really be able to see them unless you go and look real close. You won't be able to tell, but they do look really nice. Sophia preferred the yellow over the black, and so we went with that instead. So this is the little handle for the drawer, guys. But I'm thinking, as I've changed the color of the legs, why not try to accessorize a little bit and actually spray paint this as well to see, you know, just to change up the color, make it a bit funky. We do love color, so why not? And voila, we've given this a couple of coats of this spray paint, this bright yellow, and yeah, it's looking really good. So now all that is left for me to do is to attach it back to the unit, and then our project will be complete. Okay guys, it's late in the evening now. Been at this for a few hours actually, and we're finally finished this little DIY project. And what can I say, I am super impressed. Honestly, this little cheap Amazon bedside table looks so much more premium now with just adding some feet, giving them a bit of color, changing the color of the drawer handle, as well as just making sure that the cables are tucked away nice and neat. Everything is looking so much better. Don't take my word for it, guys, have a look for yourself. So here we go, guys, we've got the bedside table raised up now, which is fantastic, with ease of access, so I can actually get my USB cables, you know, I can get straight to them without having to sort of push my hand down and under, which is what I was really looking forward to. I finally got my old angle poise lamp out. I'm planning on actually connecting this directly to the table, as it's got a little screw which we can disassemble and somehow attach it, but I haven't figured that out yet. So for now we'll just sit it on top, and yeah, what do you guys think? So far so good. It's a great way to, you know, spruce up a little piece of furniture. Nice and simple, guys, nice touch.